Hello, beautiful souls. It's Rada. I just wanted to share with you this modality that I have recently been certified in called Infinite Cosmic Records. This modality is an offshoot of a bigger modality called Lemurian Code Healing. And Lemurian Code Healing is a modality that's based off of the energies and the healings of the times of Lemuria. Many of you have heard of Lemuria before. You may have even felt that you have had past life experiences there. Um, the feeling of Lemuria, which is quite enchanted, and it was one of the first civilizations on Earth that was very peaceful and very beautiful, very much like heaven on earth, which we are trying to get back to. And so that's why I really love Lemurian Code Healing, because it brings forth these Lemurian codes that are deep inside of us and really starts to awaken and unlock these codes so we can access this energy and this stream of consciousness, because everything really is a stream of consciousness. Um, we can access it when we have access to the codes. And, a lot of people say, oh, it's not real. Lemuria is not real. It's not real if you can't access it. If you can't access that consciousness, then it's not real to you. It's that simple. We all have various streams of consciousness that we're able to tap into. But Lemurian code healing is many things. It's really also about clearing away old traumas, because from that time there's been a lot of traumas that everybody's incurred. um, it's also about regenerating ourselves from our DNA level, to our consciousness, reclaiming back our codes, our our blueprint, our original blueprint, which has been distorted over time, but we can always access it. It takes work because many times we have different kinds of imprints, persecution imprints, the fall imprints. We have a lot of people call them Lemurian tags, and I wouldn't call them that, but we do these clearings where we remove tags from the time that Lemurian civilization fell, because this is something that beings were tagged with. And it's really important to remove them because they will basically be part of your incarnation in every lifetime, and they're not nice tags. I won't go too much into it here, but they can cause a lot of strife in our lives. So we want to remove those tags. Lemurian code healing, we do shadow work and inner child, and we really tap back into that really enchanted part inside of us that still exists if we can access it. I'm very connected to the enchanted realms myself and work a lot with dragon energy. And the Lemurian dragons were very benevolent beings. I know topic of dragons can be controversial. A lot of people like to link them to reptilians. They're The Lemurian dragons are benevolent, loving, beautiful, beautiful beings. And um, so, yeah, that's something that I'm very excited about being part of further next year, and something that I am offering now my clients as well, Lemurian Code sessions. But I want to talk about infinite cosmic records because it's quite phenomenal. I have been a very heavy experiencer of many modalities. I knew that I wanted to try everything pretty much, because some people like to try different restaurants. I like to try different modalities because I'm I always felt like I was my own scientist, and figuring different things out, unraveling, experimenting on myself with these energy healing modalities was always something fun and exciting, and also very healing, because being part of the unraveling process and rebuilding process that goes on inside of us is pretty incredible. I've learned a lot in my journey. I learned which modalities I resonate with and which ones are, not as resonant, I guess. And so I very much resonate with infinite cosmic records because I'm the kind of, person who likes to go deep. I love going deep in my sessions. I am not afraid to look. A lot of people, a lot of healers are sometimes afraid to look. They don't want to look. And I'm the kind of person that wants to look. I want to see what's going on. And I always want to pull back that veil so I can see deeper through the veil. And I guess it's an adventure for me. So I always think that in my sessions, I'm a detective. I'm going in and going deeper. And so I was trying to find a modality that was really going to go deeper. I have over a dozen healing modalities that I'm certified in and a teacher in as well. So now let's talk about what makes Lemurian Infinite Cosmic Records, which is a part of Lemurian Code Healing, so amazing. If any of you have tried Dolores Cannon's quantum healing hypnosis, have you tried that? If you have, put a little info below because I'd love to hear from you about your experience, because mine was incredible. I loved it. It was so cosmic and amazing. But it took a long time. It was like 4 hours long. So it was very deep. And I just saw myself in interdimensional, intergalactic levels as the it's just pretty profound. It would be too much to share here, but I have done a video before about it where I was traveling interdimensionally and um, pretty advanced stuff. And I come back here and I'm like, wow, this is so behind times. But we're here for a reason. Star seeds are here for a reason, not a season. We're here and planted. This is not our home planet. Planet Earth is not our home planet, but it is now because we embody where we are. But we're planted here to bring forth various codes, information, and exchanging through that energetic network. Also, to bring forward things like this, like Lemurian Code Healing and Infinite Cosmic Records. So I have done that. I'm quite experienced and I really enjoyed it. I've done hypnosis and what else? Akashic Records. I am actually certified in Akashic Record Reader in level 1, 2, and advanced. And so yeah, I've tried about everything pretty in depth. But when I came to Infinite Cosmic Records, which is by Maya the Shaman, and I'm very, very, very lucky because Maya the Shaman is my mother. And so I wanted to go on my journey and do my own thing, without I don't know. I just wanted to try my own thing. I'm very adventurous. So I tried many modalities before I came back to this one, which is actually even better because then I could compare them all. So my mother, Maya the Shaman, she is from the Philippines, Maharlika. And, part of the lineage is Lemurian. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but there are that is a very sacred Lemurian spot in this world. And there's a lot going on in that area, in the caves underground. Um, don't want to go too much into it here because it's something it should be its own, conversation. And that being said, she has been doing this work for a very long time and working with, hundreds of people over the years, and she teaches this work too. So, infinite cosmic records, okay? What I love about it is that it's not going to take 4 or 5 hours to do. It's done in, I think, 90 minutes, about 90 minutes, so an hour and a half. And it's deep. She has a way that she brings you in deep and fast. So you don't have to, it doesn't go on and on and on and go, you get straight to the place you need to go. And you're brought to this hallway with doors, many doors. It's How do I describe it? It's really cosmic. It's like in between, it is like a portal of its own. It's the cosmic records of the creator. And so one of the things that she does is all the sessions are done in the heart of the creator. That's part of her Lemurian Code Healing. And in this space, it's it's really a sacred container that I always feel so safe and loved in, because you're not going to get that outside interference. When you do energy work, you're not going to do it like, if you were in front of me, we're not going to do it like right here. We actually move up into the higher realms, and that is what comes down into us. It trickles down through our many bodies, light bodies, into our aura, and it works its way through. So we get the benefit of that, but it's clean is the word I would use, clean, to go to the heart of the creator. So that is part of her trademark. That's part of her signature modality that she does. And it's really interesting when you get to the doorways, because you have so many to choose from. You're going down this hall, and one doorway will speak to you. It will call you. It's not going to maybe say your name, but energy, you're going to feel it in your heart, and you're going to feel called to move forward into that doorway. And it's not based on anything like, oh, that's the most beautiful doorway. That's a golden door or anything like that. Because one of the doorways I chose was like an old fashioned farmhouse door, but I was called to it, as part of one of my past lives was so you go through these doors, and you see what you need to see that is related to right now, right? So in this lifetime, I'll just give you this example. I went through the doorway, and I saw a beautiful field of green grass, and then I saw like a bunch of hay in the distance, and it was really like very soothing, peaceful. And so you just sort of prompt and guided. You start to see things, and it will move you forward. It's very hard to explain. You just start to see. It appears before you. I go up to the door, I go inside, I look around. It's this beautiful, very simple white farmhouse. And I love it. I feel really at peace here, and I see myself as this mother. Um, I'm living a very humble, but very clean life. Again, the word clean. It was clean energetically. I had a husband, and I think children or a child. I'll have to go back and look, but um, I was a mother, and I was tending to things on the farm. I was a very devoted wife and devoted mother, and I loved it. I felt so happy, content, empowered in this lifetime. Like, I didn't think I wanted to go off and be independent. Like, I really enjoyed being a team player, it was beautiful. It just what it does is it brings back feelings to us where either we need to resolve or we need to remember. So for me, it was remembering the peace and beauty in a union that was simple and very honest and very like, just hardworking, honest, good people. And how simplicity can be really beautiful. We make life so complicated. Relationships these days are so complicated. Everybody's like, picking out new partners on Instagram, and, you know, people don't have that mindset. And that was a really nice place to be because, you know, it's just, exactly what you're doing, where you're going. And it was just clean, white, white farmhouse, um, beautiful family. And that experience, so I went through that and it brought back this beautiful healing into my heart, this beautiful feeling of peace and feeling of simplicity. And that simplicity is okay. And it's not only okay, it's good. And that when, we live in a time where women are like, want to be independent in so many ways, and I think it's wonderful for women to speak her truth in her voice, but there's also something very beautiful about being a devoted partner and being a devoted a wife, right? So that was really sweet and special, and I enjoyed that very much. And then I went through another door that was really beautiful, and it was round, kind of round. It was like a Moroccan door. They can be really exquisite and beautiful. I've been to Morocco and I loved it. So this was really an interesting doorway that I went into, and I um, walked into what looked like a temple. It was exquisite, large ceilings, tiled ceilings, tiled everywhere. It was really vast and open, and it seemed to go forever. So I keep walking, and then I go down a hall, and eventually I see this woman. She's a Moroccan elder, a wise woman, and she has an artichoke in her hand, and she's cutting it or something like that. She gives me a pretty intense message, and actually write about it in the book that um, we're publishing, and it's called Infinite Cosmic Records. And so I write my chapter about my experience, and this one gave me the chills. It was pretty intense, is what I'd say, but it gave me a message that I think was very important, and I share that in the book. And so, anyhow, I have gone through these doorways multiple times for multiple reasons because I needed to call back a piece of myself. Um, One thing about the Infinite Cosmic Records is that it's very enchanted. It has deep enchantment to it. So they actually walk into, so each doorway is like a portal, but it's connected to them. It's not like random because there is something there for them. Some people have met their star family and had these just incredible conversations with their star lineage. I mean, it's just which is wild what can happen. And it's not like it feels really you're right there. So you really are in tune with everything going on. It's not like a dream fantasy. It's you're going there and you're retrieving messages, information, um, healing, right? So one of the doorways I went into, I met this beautiful dragon, beautiful white dragon, and um there was nothing there. It was like the sky. It was like, and I was being asked to just fall, or just have trust and let go. So I did. And the dragon was underneath, so I kind of knew this dragon was going to be picking me up, and it did. And I had my back on the dragon, and it was such a uh, prolific experience. The love and the healing that came through was just very tender, and I felt I got exactly what I needed. There's so much more that goes on that I'm not sharing in this short amount of time, but it really awakened me to my connection to the dragon, and the benevolent aspect of the dragon. This dragon was a white dragon, and then I had met a green dragon, and it was just really special, really beautiful. But I enjoyed hearing other people's stories too, because everyone has a different purpose for going into the records. Sometimes it's to heal your heart, right? Sometimes it's to visit and connect with a star lineage, from another dimension. And sometimes it's to find messages about where you're going and what you're meant to do. So everyone will have their own completely unique experience. No one will ever be the same. But the process is like a of hybrid of you know, quantum healing hypnosis and the Akashic records, and but it's a little more advanced because I've gone to the Akashic records many times and done readings many times, and it's not as tactile, tangible, like the thing, like you open up the records and you read them, but this is almost like a real experience that brings you back pieces of yourself. And it's a portal, it's a divine and holy portal, so you're not getting lost in some weird place. Like, people have met certain fears sometimes, and that is because they needed to face their fear, right? We don't ever encounter things that we aren't ready for. And that's one thing that's really important. If you haven't done any shadow work at all, you could still do this, but it is recommended that you've done a little bit of work, because this is very advanced. Infinite Cosmic Records is a very advanced, and um, it's not just like someone just reading off something to you, like your records. You're gonna have like an experience, and you're going to journey. And so, I mean, some people have said, wow, this is like an ayahuasca experience. That's a kind of, it doesn't always go there, so don't be afraid, like, if you're scared of that. If people encounter anything that's scary, we know I've been trained, and Maya trained me how to um, make them feel safe and bring them back. So there's never been like anything weird. It's very, very safe because you're in the heart of the creator. And that is part of the Lemurian Code Healing Protocol, and something I have been doing, I guess, for quite some time now, because the heart of the creator is part of the Lemurian Code. It is part of Lemuria. We were in, um, and Lemuria was the heart of the creator. It was a very enchanted place, very advanced in many ways, very telepathic. Like, we didn't need to communicate the words like I'm doing now. We would just tune in and connect on that telepathic level. Um, the frequencies were really clean and very high. And so we had a really great relationship with the land, and with the animals and the beings that live there, and the crystals. Everything was like alive, you know, alive. It's hard to imagine that because it feels at times that this world is very dense, you know, and so that aliveness is something that many of us have forgotten. And it's easy to forget because of the fast pace of this world and so much going on and all the socials and everything. It can dull your senses. So, Infinite Cosmic Records actually reactivates your senses. It starts to make you more subtle and connected to yourself, and your intuition starts to turn on and activate. And in some cases, your DNA will activate. It's very much up to the individual because it's your soul at the end of the day, and your soul is the one directing you. So, your soul is the one telling you which door to go into and what kind of experience you're ready to have. And um, so, that's why it's all unique. Everyone has their unique soul blueprint. And so we're just going back into those blueprints and we're taking a look and we're seeing what could use some adjustments, and also what are you ready to receive again? What are you ready to remember? Because a lot of the work about this is remembering who you really are in this state of amnesia that we've all fallen, like Sophia from the Pleroma, in order to be part of this experience. And some would say experiment, but we are awakening from this deep slumber. And every time you go into the infinite cosmic records, part of you turns back on that was dormant and forgotten. And you remember so much about who you are. And I think that is the most beautiful kind of healing, is you remembering who you are, why you're here, and um, sorting through like your karmic relationships. Why do you have that relationship? Who is that person to you in your life, and why? What do you need to work through with them? And these all of these things are important because we are moving up and upwards in our ascension journey. And that means that we need to release a lot, release toxic relationships, release old karmic baggage, release distorted beliefs about ourselves, release the burdens, and start to reclaim who we really are. It's a process of unraveling. And I think a lot of people are going through this awakening. So, this is a very beautiful way to feel supported and held and to go on a journey. Sometimes, if you try to go on these journeys like by yourself, it can be scary because you can get lost. And it's really important to work with a trained practitioner for any kind of healing session. You've got to make sure that who you are working with is qualified and trained. It's one thing for someone to have an intuition, because I was born with an intuition, and I had these psychic abilities which I turned on and I turned off. I really turned off because a very I was very angry about them because I felt they were not serving me in this earthly plane. I didn't understand the value and I felt bombarded by them. So that's why I'm grateful that I have gotten so much training, because I am a deep empath and I understand how deeply people can feel and how important it is to know how to manage your energy, your essence, and your being. So these kinds of trainings are very, very important, even if you don't want to be a practitioner. But if you're an empath, it is really helpful to get trained in energy work, energy healing. And Maya will be teaching her Lemurian Code whole mastery curriculum in 2023. So if you're interested, I'll leave her information. and just wanted to share with you about, infinite cosmic records and the kind of journeys that are available to us. Everything's inside of us, so we just have to be brave enough to look. And wishing you so much love and blessings, and have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. Bye for now.